All right, guys, what's up? We're back chopping it up. Moff's in the house. Got some fun stuff to catch up on and have some time for some call-ins today. We fixed the authentication issue. So if you had a hard time getting in on prior call-ins, you'll have no trouble now. So get in early. The link's pinned at the top. Moff, what's going on, bro?
It's happening. Another good Monday, man. It's Thanksgiving week here in the U.S., so happy early Thanksgiving to all the Americans out there. Hope you guys have a good, safe holiday. Lots of family, lots of food, but don't overdo it, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be a good week.
How do we end up with different Thanksgiving weekends? Canada's is in October, and you guys have yours in November. Is that like what's up with that? Did anybody ever figure that out?
No, I don't know anything about it. I mean, I don't know exactly how it got happened. I don't even know what like Canadian Thanksgiving is about. Like, what's the story? Give us a little history lesson here. There's my thumbs up. What's the history lesson?
I
What does it
couldn't tell you,
represent?
man. The history is
Some
you sit down
Canadian.
with family and you eat turkey and drink.
Yeah.
That was it, really.
Yeah, the whole American Thanksgiving is built on this lie. It's like like all the white guys and the Indians got together, and the white men told like the Indians taught them how to bake bread and harvest corn and things like that, and they all gathered together at the dinner table and shared a meal. It's like
Yeah, it's like a harvest.
That never happened. Like
Yeah.
nothing about Thanksgiving ever happened. So
Actually, they have a
um,
similar story in the UK. I can't remember what it's called. It's not called Thanksgiving, but they have like a kind of like a harvest. Like I
yeah,
think almost all cultures celebrate the end of summer sort of harvest when you sort of reap all your crops and stuff like that. So that's the
I want to
origins
get
as
this
far as
guy's
I
comment
understand.
really quick, right? I saw this pop in. You want to join the group? Make sure you go to the School of Unplugging. Go to our Instagram or go to entrepreneursandcars.com/community. You'll see all the options there. So if you want
Yeah.
to join, that's where you guys need to go. I don't know. We make it so easy and obvious for you guys. I don't know why
It-
this is still a
It's always
question,
there
but
in every show, guys.
yeah,
richcooper.ca.
so
You go to
it's
my website,
really
you can
easy.
find everything there. Um, let's hang on. Let's deal with Claudia's thing first because we said last week that we would
Did you get a DM
mention
from her?
whatever the contest her mom's on. Thank you everyone for
Yeah,
voting Claudia's mom.
because she
So
did put in a super, so we can go put that up.
you can't drop a link as a viewer, but as Moff said, either DM him or me on Instagram or on Twitter, or just do like on one or the other. Just tell us who you DM'd and where, and we'll pull it up for you so you can you guys can cast a vote and we'll see how hot Claudia's mommy is. What should we start with, man? We got a bunch of saved links here.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's begin. See what happened this week, and probably in about 40 minutes or so, we'll take some call in. So, I love doing this because it's like it's a good opportunity to sort of chop it up and catch up, and see what's going on, and what's been trending out there. I know we got a few things in the title: dead bedrooms, Bitcoin fools, Prune to grow, Trump goats. I'm pronouncing all these names
Gaetz.
wrong, and McGregor, obviously. You know what? Start with the whole McGregor thing because I saw that a couple hours ago. We talked very briefly before we went live. So what happened with Conor McGregor?
So Conor McGregor was I don't even know if the term is guilty. He was, I guess, held liable. Held liable is the new term because it's a civil case, it's not a criminal case. So in the US, you've got criminal court, which has to do with crimes and jail time and sentencing and things like that. And you have civil cases and civil matters, which have to do with essentially money. So there are a slew of civil cases that seem to be popping up. Most recently, Conor McGregor, this woman, I guess he stepped out on his wife 6 or so years ago. She came out of the woodwork, apparently was DMing him. He met her in a hotel room. Things got a little bit rough. And now that he's become sort of a mouthpiece for, he
How long have you
actually
been married?
released this statement today. A long time. He's been with the chick for a long time. Like he's been with this
Like
girl
she's been around since he
before
was
he was a
training.
UFC champion. Yeah. Long time coming. So, I mean, he's got
This is
kids
a
with her and
statement from
everything
today,
like that.
right?
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, she accused him of, I think, actually, I don't know if it was assault or rape or what exactly it was, but there was conflicting reports. I mean, on one hand, she said, it was assault, but there was a statement in an ESPN article that said she said, I let him do what he wanted to, and then he assaulted me. It's like, well, those two things don't mix.
Mm.
Letting somebody do whatever they want and then calling it assault, those are conflicting sort of statements there. Also, the way that she quoted him, he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, I think he was being rough or choking her, and he said something along the lines of, "Now you'll know how I felt when I tapped out in the octagon 3 times," which There's no way he would ever say that. I mean, that's crazy. But, you know, this idea that he's stated that he wants to get into politics, that he wants to potentially run for office.
That's what it is.
With the way,
That's
yeah, I mean, anytime. I mean, he hasn't fought in a really long time. I mean, he's teased a return to the ring, but it hasn't happened. And now he's talking about getting into politics. And again, as you see it with these other guys like Hegseth, you see it with Gaetz, you saw it with Trump last year. You see it, you know, with Conor McGregor, these men, you saw it with Brett Kavanaugh a few years ago for a Supreme Court appointment, these guys that are now ascending the ranks of powerful positions in government and policy. All of a sudden, these women are coming out of the woodwork and deciding to say, and it's not even criminal, right? It's not, hey, if this dude is RAPEDU, he should be in jail, right? There's no excuse for that. But it is the lone trump card, no pun intended. It is the lone trump card that people still have against powerful men, because there is no excuse and because there is no gray area when it comes to such a heinous crime. It's the ultimate card where they just say, well, he did that. And people still, the tide is turning ever so slowly. People are finally starting to ask questions, but there's still this prevailing sentiment that we should hashtag believe all women and that women don't lie about this kind of thing. And it's just simply not true. I mean, we've talked about statistics, and you've talked to people that are in criminal investigation. They'd say that a large percentage of women will lie about these things.
85%,
essentially
85%.
And really what it is a lot of the time are these women are having buyer's remorse. They're cheating on their husbands, or they're being found out and they're being caught. And instead of taking accountability for their actions, they're basically saying they were the victim and they're not culpable whatsoever. So, I mean, it's one of those things that it's really sad, because what it does is it actually, you know, and it causes real victims to be taken far less seriously. And you know, the inclination is not that we should just believe people right off the bat. And the tough part about cases like this as well is that guilty or not guilty, I mean, again, that's not the verdict. It's liable, right? It's basically the burden of proof. The burden of proof in a criminal case, guilty or not guilty, is essentially innocent beyond a reasonable doubt or guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a higher burden of proof than in a civil case, which is essentially, we think it's more likely than you did it than not, which is a lower standard of proof. And then you look at the jury, and it was 8 women and 4 men. If we know anything about the modern man, and we know anything about the modern feminization of men, these are not in any likelihood masculine men with high testosterone, likely bending the knee to, you know, women that double up on them in a jury. So it's just, he released that statement. He denies it. He's going to appeal, but it just seems like these cases adding up, they seem like shameless money grabs. The thing that happened with Trump last year, I mean, it was, you know, liable for sexual assault. He wasn't convicted. He didn't do any jail time. It was had to pay a settlement, had to pay out money. And either way, people are using these verdicts as, in the court of public opinion, he might as well have done it. He might as well be a RAPIST. People are labeling him with that label, even though he was never found guilty on that charge. So if you're a man who has plans to become powerful or run for office or run a company, you better be taking a video camera wherever you go and have NDA forms, man, because it's just not worth it anymore. Protect yourself at all costs.
Yeah. Don't delete text message threads, especially from, I was going to say, like, especially from crazy, but I would just say don't delete them, period.
In general. Keep a record of everything.
Yeah, to that point of, you know, what you were talking about. So I've talked to a few cops. There was one that sent me quite a few details on how it all breaks down, and I did some videos a while ago on the Entrepreneurs and Cars channel, but I'll break it down again for you guys again tonight. So the police departments call this the 3-step rocket, and 85% of the time they tell me it's false. And what women will essentially do is married women or women with boyfriends in a committed relationship that would suffer the consequences of things like, you know, slut shaming or, you know, commitment issues if he found out. They essentially cheat on their boyfriend or their husband. And then they have buyer's remorse the next day. And then what they'll do is they'll go to a police station and they'll say, well, I was great. And they'll file a report alleging that the guy that she consensually had intimacy with had, you know, raped her. And 85% of the time when they investigate it, it's not true. It's women stepping out on their committed relationships being a 304, and they don't want to suffer the consequences of that coming out. So they call it something else, which is unfortunate because it works. You know, that's why you hear names, you know, that are in the title all the time, dealing with the consequences of these false allegations. So I get it when guys are like, you know, women aren't worth it. Go MGTOW or whatever. I understand, but I don't think guys are ever going to step away from it. Let me just quickly read this statement from Connor. He said, people want to hear from me. I need a time. I know I made, so this was just posted like a couple hours ago today.
Yeah, a couple hours ago.
I need a time. I know I made a mistake. Sorry, I know I made mistakes 6 years ago. I should have never responded to her outreaches. So she clearly reached out to him, which happens if you're a popular guy like Conor McGregor, I'm sure, often enough. I should have shut down the party. I should have never stepped out on the woman that I love the most in the world. That's all on me. As much as I regret it, everything that happened that night was consensual, and all the witnesses present swore that under oath. I've instructed my legal team to appeal. Can't go back. I will move forward. I'm beyond grateful to my family, friends, supporters all over the world who have stayed at my side. That's it. No more. Getting back to the gym. Fight game awaits. And it looks like the vast majority of the comments here, you know, with the exception of the clowning, which guys tend to do, are strongly positive anyway. But I mean, that sucks. It's just like, you know, the guy's going about his life, and women throw themselves at him. Like, I've seen this with athletes too. I've talked to quite a few athletes now where they're like, yeah, you know, I did it. You know, I was married to a beautiful woman. We had a great family. It was stupid. I probably shouldn't have done it, but you would have probably done the same thing in my situation. Like, a lot of the guys that like point
Aubrey talks about that a lot. Aubrey Huff.
Yeah, Aubrey too. You know, a lot of guys that like openly, you know, deal with stuff like this will get a lot of negative pushback from a lot of the white knights, and are like, I would have never done anything like that. You know, your wife's a beautiful woman. It's like, guys that say that they wouldn't cheat are one thing, but if you don't have the option to step out, that's a totally different thing. Most of these guys that say that they would never step out don't even have the option to step out. They're probably in a sexless marriage or something closely resembling that sort of stuff. So it's like,
it's the same guys
with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's the same guys that clown on women that we bring on ladies' night or fresh and fit or whatever. It's like, oh, I would never date these women. I never wipe them up. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. It's like, these girls aren't even going to see
go and buy their own fan.
Well, it's like that. Not only that, but these girls wouldn't even look at you. You're invisible to them. So it's really easy to say, oh, I wouldn't. It's like, you wouldn't even have the opportunity to reject them, right? You wouldn't even be on the playing field. Yeah. You know, and I'm sure I'll get a ton of respectful and very fun comments after that. But yeah, it really is a shame, man. It's one of those things where you understand what those guys go through if you're a man who's experienced any modicum of success and knows what attracts women. So, yeah, somebody asked in the comments, I'm not going to bring it back up. It's like, well, why don't these guys carry around NDAs, or why don't it's like, listen, man, it's like, you want to kill, if you want to kill a romantic opportunity, or you want to kill some sexual chemistry fast, pull out a piece of paper or record a video saying, do you consent to have this sexual encounter with me over the next 10 seconds? I understand where you're going with it, but it's like, yeah, man, you want to dry it up like the Sahara? Do that. Go ahead.
It's going to sound stupid. I don't get it a lot, but it happens. Like, I'll get DMs and it's like the most vile, like, nudity and stuff from like women that want to throw them. It's like, these guys probably get it daily, right? And
by the hour.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do with that? Of course you're going to fold at some point, you know, especially if it's relentless and it looks good enough and you think that you can pull it off. Anyway, let's move on. So one of the first bookmarks that I have over here is the concept of not being the first choice and who women marry. So this is an interesting one that popped up in my feed. I don't know who this Rugal is. It doesn't look like it's a popular account or anything, but it's verified. But it says, I fell in love with a boy once, unrequited. I was so shy. His family owned a cafe I would go to most Saturdays to eat blueberry corn cakes and yearn. Friends would accompany me and encourage me to talk to him. I never did, but every Saturday I make this breakfast for my kids. And she has a photograph here of blueberry corn cakes, I'm assuming. I think there was a follow-up here.
The whole thread, yeah.
Posted in this whole thread, but something, where is she? There was another follow-up that was attached to this. Oh, hang on, it's over here.
Just go click on that, yeah.
There we go. So I'm guessing this is her over here. It says, this was taken shortly after brunch at this cafe. The tragedy of the unrequited part is that he was interested in me, but I was just shy. The first time we encountered each other, we stood feet apart on an otherwise empty deck. He followed me out, not speaking until, like imagine, she goes on and on, eh?
Yeah.
We had mutual friends and we were friends on social media, yet LOL, I moved away, lost track of him. Much later, after almost 2 years single, I Googled him when I was ready for love, found my now ex-husband's blog instead. They have the same name, and now here we are. Anyway, feeling nostalgic for the sweetness of that time. I was in love with him for years from afar, held everyone else I met to the standard he set for a man, which is why I dated so few. I think my marriage was cursed from the beginning because of the name. There's only one S. I never looked him up. There's no way he isn't happily married with a family somewhere in California. He might not even remember me at this point. This was 17 years ago. But think of the romance. Like, this chick pined for the guy for 17 years, married a man with the same name, and made the food that she went to the cafe with her family as a child for her own kids. Like, women rarely marry their first choice, guys. I've said this before. You want women, you want a woman that chooses you. Like, choose women that choose you, right? It should be obvious. It should be clear. She shouldn't say, hey, let's get married, I want kids. She should say, I can't live without you, I want your children, right? Those are two very distinct things. You want to be very, very certain that you're dealing with a gal that is about you, not just about a ceremony or a party or whatever it happens to be. Be very careful, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff also pops up. I mean, obviously, ex-husband, no surprise there, divorced. This pops up all the time, though. Every now and then I'll see and I don't get on Reddit, but I have some stuff sent to me every now and then, or people just love to take screenshots and post them on Twitter and things like that. But, every now and then I'll come up with one. It's like, my wife named our child after her boyfriend back in college that I didn't know about. And now he's 5. And now every time I hear his name, I'm reminded of her ex-boyfriend or her first love. And it's like, Titanic, the movie Titanic is widely regarded by many, many women as the perfect love story, and women just swoon over this movie. And here's an 80-year-old woman who had a bunch of kids, who got married, had a very successful family. And the whole movie is how about she met a homeless dude on a boat one time. They banged each other's brains out and she never stopped thinking about him. Right. Like that's what it is. That's your competition, man. A smelly, like 19-year-old dude on a cruise ship. So yeah, this is why, I mean, most likely, and this is why, we are often, especially for guys that are looking for wife stock, mother stock, going for younger women that have not been impressed upon by other men, who don't have a large notch count or large dating history. That stuff people, women, especially women and men that don't get laid will shame you and say, it's manipulation, or you want to turn her into a robot or whatever it is, or she won't challenge you. It's more about, if I'm not that guy, then I'm not interested. If I'm always going to be competing with the memory of some other guy, then, there's no reason for you to get involved with a chick like that. Because then the stuff like this will happen. She's clearly never let go of that. And people are just, oh, it's like a nice, happy memory. It's like, no, like you talk about this in the red flags. It's keeping men from her past around. It's not just about male friends and exes and things like that. It's even alpha widows and even the memories of guys she would rather be with than you. So you got to do your due diligence, man.
It sounded like she was a young woman, maybe a teen, maybe even a girl at the time when they went to the cafe. Imagine you're her husband or her ex-husband and you read that and you realize you got beaten out by a guy that she hadn't probably even kissed. She didn't even talk to him, sounded like. She got alpha widowed by a guy that she didn't even talk to. Yeah. And it's like, you lost out to that. So you're not even second or third choice. Anyway, let's keep moving on. We have, this narrative that keeps getting pushed in front of us. We want everybody to believe stories this, which
This one did
Simply Art
numbers.
True. Says on her leg over here, if you can't read it on your screen, it's okay to be bigger than your partner. And I'm assuming this is the partner over here with the weird undies that he's gone on. And of course, the answer to that is no, it isn't. You don't have to believe any of this crap that they're, trying to cram down your throat, guys. It's like, push back on these narratives, speak loudly, make your statement and your point. It's just, it's just absurd that.
There's a bunch of guys in the comments that are all about it.
Yeah.
A lot of cope. I like a bigger girl. I like that. It's like, no, man. Like,
you don't have the option, buddy.
Yeah.
Ice Spice is the next one over here. I don't know what this chick story is. She looks like she's got the tism. Ice Spice admits gets jealous of how easy men have it in a misogynistic world. A successful artist at an award, probably with more money than everybody we know combined, is crying about being a victim in a man's misogynistic world. I put up here, I have it so easy. Please sign up for my OnlyFans, link in bio, right? Because it's like women get money and attention thrown to them so freely. And I always find it surprising that there's still this consistent, I have to be a victim. I have to find some way to broadcast my victimhood. And I've said this before, and it's in my book. It's in the red flag chapter, of course, is, stay away from the unhappy and the unlucky, like the perpetual victims, the one that always sort of manufacture some sort of reason to be held down, even though at this time in history, more than any other, women are arguably supremacists, in a sense where they have more control and more power. But this is the world we live in. Successful artists are telling themselves and telling the world that they live in. Men have it easy. And I mean, Moff, I'm still waiting to enjoy some of this privilege that I've been told that I have. I didn't really enjoy it during divorce and family court. I didn't enjoy it during disputes, when working in the corporate world. I have yet to enjoy some of this male privilege. Have you ever enjoyed any kind of male privilege that's been an advantage for you?
I think you're going to be waiting a very long time before that comes around.
If you guys have ever enjoyed male privilege, please let us know.
Let me know where I can get it. I'd love to try some. That'd be great.
I'd like to get some of that male privilege that I keep hearing that I have. I'm not sure where to find it.
Let me know where I can sign up and get on that waiting list, because that sounds
sure
pretty sweet.
Get it. Maybe it's in one of those like cereal boxes as a prize in the bottom. I'm not exactly sure where to find it. All right, we're going to talk about dead bedrooms because somebody mentioned earlier in the comments, and it's in the title. So this is one of these quick Reddit posts, and it says, "I gave her a year." So last year, I don't know what these acronyms are, HLM and LLF. If anybody knows, let us know in the comments. I couldn't figure it out, but I'm assuming one's male and one's female. This is sort of one of the things that these wokies sort of use to describe whatever complications are going on in their life. Anyway, so last year, me and her had a big fight over intimacy, emotional connections, and how she never wants to cuddle and watch a movie or just anything. I was ready to call it quits then. 19 years this is going on. The talk or arguments were every 4 to 6 months. She said she had so much to do. By the end of the day, she was so tired. So I compromised. I will do everything in the house so that she can focus on work and her once a week meetings. In return, I want what she has not given me, because all of the stuff she said she did. I gave her a year. The year is up. Nothing changed except for one thing. Today I moved out. I captioned this saying, men need to learn that chore play, which is what this is. When guys try to exchange doing something in the house or new tasks, they take on some burden that she complains is preventing her from being intimate. I'm so tired at the end of the day because I have this, that, and the other thing to do. So what a lot of guys will do is they'll say, well, I understand, honey, and I love you. So let me take care of those things so we can free up some time for intimacy later on. And what usually happens when they take on chore play is what you'd expect would happen. Absolutely nothing. They don't get any more of what they're looking for, and the frustration continues into perpetuity. And all they've done is taken on more burden of labor in the household and getting less in return. Men are very apt, because they love their woman, to do whatever it takes. Like they'll stay longer out of a sense of duty, it seems. Yeah, it's a story as old as time, man. Like they actually have a Reddit thread, r/dead bedrooms, and it's one of the most active ones on there. Guys and gals, like women complain about it too, but it's mostly men complaining that there's no intimacy after they've committed and moved in together. And it's one of the reasons why I mean, I get criticized on this all the time, Moff. You know, people say, well, why do you say, you shouldn't live with a woman? It's like, this is one, like, beyond family law, getting invited into your life, the familiarity of being together, the proximity, the closeness, being there all the time, interest and intimacy wanes over time. It just does. That's why, in my opinion, it's better to, maintain two households, especially in a hostile family law environment like Canada.
Yeah, well, my guess is this was not a overtime issue. The way it makes it sound is this was never, when you put acronyms, and I hate that I know this, or I'm just deducing that HLM means high libido male and LLF means low libido female. So yeah, I mean, that's
Or
pretty
that.
much, yeah. So women will, again, this is, most guys have just a fundamental lack of understanding about how women work, and they take their words at face value instead of paying attention to what they do. And look, man, been there. Like, my ex was the exact same way. Like, oh, like, I just don't have the burning desire for anybody. It's not just you. I just have a low libido. I think I might be asexual or whatever it is. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that's totally. So then you work harder to like, okay, well, she's presented me with a problem, and it's my job as the man to fix that problem. Oh, I'm too tired. I have too much stuff to do. Okay, I will knock out all the chores so you no longer have nothing to do. Oh, well, it's something else. It just, this ever regressing moving of the goalposts, and guys will just eat that stuff up forever. I mean, this guy lived it for 19 years. He finally, got his balls out of her purse and moved out. But that's not to say that he's going to be able to solve it with the next chick that he's with, unless he goes and learns the material and unplugs around the lives of women and really learns how they work. He's just doomed to repeat his mistakes. And that's what a lot of guys will, when you see guys throwing around labels like NPD, BPD, they don't understand that women are more similar than they are different. You can always trust women to be women, and you're the common denominator in all of your relationships. So the low libido stuff, again, finish all those sentences with you. She's too tired to do stuff with you. She has too much of a low libido with you. She doesn't really feel like it with you. You've seen guys that will write down journals and spreadsheets and present to their wives and say, here are all of the times over the last 6 months, the date and the time stamp that you refused my advances and the reason given. Now, because of all this, therefore you have gone against your wifely duties. Therefore you owe me sex. And they expect her to go, oh my God, like, I had no idea. You're so right. Let's just jump into bed right now. And yeah, we catch a lot of shit for this, and guys will be sexless at their own peril because of the dumb mistakes they make, and they listen to the wrong people, and can't save everybody. We can only lead the horse to the water, but it's not surprising how common this is.
You can call me a lot of things, but I haven't been called a liar before on stuff like this. I'm still waiting for somebody to come up with a reasonable argument or prove me wrong. This one's fascinating, man.
Oh, Lord.
This one is wild. It's really a lot more common than guys think. For her to say the quiet part out loud that you're about to hear right now is gonna blow your mind. I mean, it's a quick minute video. Just watch it. We'll chop it up afterwards.
Divorce 4 times. Let's go. Tell me, what do you want to know?
What is the most toxic thing that you've ever done?
Okay, let's do this. All right, take them to court, and then get a good divorce lawyer, of course. Take them for half of the retirement. Take them half of their property, and then fight them for higher child support, okay? And a couple of years from now, hit you up for more child support every 3 years. Every 3 years, you go up from maybe 200 to 300 to 400 to 500. You bring it up to $2,000 per child. But I got one child right here, Kaden right here. Her daddy paying child support for her.
It's disgusting, man. Like, the level of pride. She's clearly drunk or something, but the level of pride that she's putting on full display, that she's put 4 guys through, And a lot of I know a lot of friends of mine are like, I love Latinos, and like this is one of the reasons why I'm just like, Latinos, man. I just because they're so capable of sounding like some version of that. And it's like Moff, she'll be the same gal that you'll see on a dating app, and she'll be like single mom looking for love, which really just means single mom looking for help, aka looking for your shit. You got to be super careful out there, guys. Just be very careful, super careful, man.
I mean, I can't think of a better word than disgusting. I mean, your kid is right there. It's just the arrogance and the pride she has over this. And again, this is the world we live in, and this type of behavior is not only enabled, but it's encouraged. The you go girl, you go get the bag, you make the money, you take that man for everything he's worth, you know, whatever it is. He probably, he didn't treat me well, or he was a narcissist, or he was abusive. And we had a girl on Ladies' Night back before we ended the show. She called herself the professional ex-wife. She had been divorced 3 different times, and you know, it's like, man, it's crazy that guys don't see this still, and that you had not 1, 2, or 3 guys be duped and fall for this. You had 4 different guys, and now you've got this cow yelling on camera about how proud she is to have swindled men out of their hard-earned money. And
she's got her daughter standing right there when she's talking about it. Like literally, that's the next generation of evil harpy that's going to do the exact same thing, because it's like a carbon copy of, you know, the generation prior to it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, victim in the chaos that they create. Well, we got another one, another victim. Here we go. You ready for this one, Moff? This is a gal that calls the cop on her man after he found her cheating. Check it out.
Yeah, we got an intruder. We have an intruder,
Yep.
Yep. Yep. We have an intruder in the house. I've been here for 6 months. And you in my house? You in my house?
Get the out.
You in my house?
Please send somebody.
You in my house?
Please,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
I just need a
please.
report
I'm
on
here.
this guy. And he
Yeah.
broke into my house.
Yeah. No, he did not.
Please.
No, he did. I live here.
Hurry,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
hurry.
Come on. Yeah, I live here. He in my house. We have an intruder. His name is Elijah. Yes. Come on,
I
talk about
can't
it.
hear over him.
Look at him. Look. Yeah. You should have got the fair pay.
Please send somebody.
Get my phone.
He's
I'm
destroying
gone.
my
Get my
house.
phone, bro.
It's in your hand.
Exactly. Give me that.
Help somebody,
Come on, bro.
please.
Come get the fair pay.
Please. Stop it.
Yeah. Come
Get
on.
out.
Get out of our house. You're right.
Get out.
You're right. Come on.
Get out. Go.
Oh, I live here.
Go, please.
I live here.
Somebody.
Yeah, we got it.
There it is again, right? The playing the victim in the chaos you create. Guys, I've said this before. Your cell phone is one of your best tools, one of your defenses. Turn on the video, put it on your chest, and just back away, right? Put your hand out, be calm, be cool, let her freak out, let her do her whole, show on the phone for the 911 operator, whatever it is that she's talking to, while that nerd sits in the corner like a coward. This is a reality of indulging in relationships, guys. Stuff like this can and does happen. You have to be very, very careful. Don't get sucked into it. Don't get violent. Just be cool, record it, and back away. That's it. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, I mean, great acting. I mean, you can hear it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would believe that if I heard that and I didn't know the context. I would hear that and go, holy cow, this guy's going to kill this woman or
it's
whatever.
Not her first rodeo. You can tell.
No, not at all. She's practiced this. And you know what? The sleeve tattoo on the left arm, dead giveaway. Every single time, man. It's just, it's document everything. I mean, God, man, this show makes me freaking upset sometimes, dude. The stuff that we have to go over, and we do this for you guys every week. We go through this and look at the most vile stuff and go through and have to subject ourselves to this brain turning into mush content for you guys. It's because we want you to see the reality of the world that you live in, and the people that try to tell you this doesn't happen or it can't happen to you or we're misogynists or liars. We've been doing this show now for, this is like our 16th or 17th episode at this point. I mean, we're never going to run out of enough content. So, again, don't say we didn't warn you.
Let's talk about Bitcoin and money and finance. This one's captioned, and this is why women shouldn't be allowed to vote. So pay attention here.
We're asking people if they'd rather have a Taylor Swift concert ticket or 1 Bitcoin.
Taylor Swift ticket. Taylor Swift ticket, obviously.
A Bitcoin. Guaranteed. I'll have to take the Bitcoin on that one.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift ticket.
I would rather have 1 Bitcoin. For me, 1 Bitcoin.
Taylor ticket.
Definitely Taylor.
Bitcoin.
Would rather have 1 Bitcoin. I can buy Taylor Swift a song to perform live at my birthday for 90 grand.
Taylor Swift tickets.
A Taylor Swift ticket.
1 Bitcoin.
I already have tickets. I'll take the Bitcoin. Taylor Swift tickets.
Taylor Swift ticket.
It depends on where it is. If it's floor seats, but if not,
The Bitcoin.
a Taylor Swift ticket.
Bitcoin. That's hard. I think a Bitcoin, though.
Taylor Swift ticket.
I don't know.
Choose Taylor, honey.
Taylor Swift ticket.
Taylor Swift ticket.
There's ticket.
In US dollars, it's around $90,000.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. But still, I would still choose Taylor over $90,000.
We're asking people.
Imagine being told the value of an asset like Bitcoin. It's about $90,000. Wow, that's a lot. But I would still take Taylor Swift tickets, Moff. It's like you can buy them off a scalper probably for a couple of grands right at the front frickin' door. This is an excellent test of IQ. I actually I asked my kid this the other day, and I said, would you rather a Taylor Swift ticket or 1 Bitcoin? And she goes, can I use a Bitcoin for whatever I want? I'm like, yeah, she goes, take the Bitcoin then.
Including Taylor Swift tickets.
Taylor Swift tickets.
Like
So,
that guy said, it's like,
I
hey,
don't
man,
have to at least.
I can pay her $90,000 to come do a private concert.
But-
She probably charges more than that.
But I mean,
yeah,
like, look at all the characters on there, right? Like the vast majority of the women, including the elder one, where he advised her what the current price of Bitcoin was. They almost all unanimously chose Taylor. Like, this is the draw that Taylor Swift has, right? She's that magnetic that women will bypass an asset. I mean, it's almost $100,000 at this point, but they'll completely pass on an asset that's worth the price of, I don't know, what is that, 100 Taylor Swift tickets you can buy for that?
Yeah,
What did Taylor Swift
it's
ticket cost?
unbelievable.
$900?
Yeah, thereabouts. I mean, floor seats, but yeah, I mean, it's just, do we need to keep saying it? Like, when will you guys be convinced? Like, when will the world be convinced? Yeah, it's okay. Now I'm blown away. I wish I had a quippy thing to say. I wish I had something witty. I got nothing. I mean, it's just pure
This is
stupidity.
why these guys
It's
out
not
there,
even,
Moff,
it's not even
this is
funny
why
anymore.
women shouldn't vote. I mean, if you can't make a rational, logical choice like that, then why should you be allowed to cast a vote? Like, why does your fucking opinion even matter? At that point, and I get it. I mean, they're not going to take the votes away at any time that I can see in the near future, but I get what they're saying. It makes absolute sense. Moff, if you don't know, I think Tom Hardy is one of the best actors out there. I think everything that I've seen him in is just fantastic. Anyway, so he's a British actor. He's got a little bit of bit here, basically on pruning the grow. I think this is some sage advice. This is in a different vein, but check it out.
I pick up the phone at 6 o'clock. He goes, "Oh, gotcha! I fucking gotcha, ain't I?" I said, "Charlie." He goes, "Hello, mate. How you doing?" "No, I'm good." He goes, "What's going on?" I thought, and I just split up with my girlfriend at the time, and I thought, oh, well, do you know what? I'm going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to fucking tell him straight, because, break the ice. I'm in a bit of a bad way at the moment. He goes, "Oh, yeah, what's the matter?" Yeah, I said, I'm just not, I'm just not comfortable. I'm saying goodbye to somebody that, that I really love, and I'm not happy. I'm not in a good space. And he goes, right. He goes, "Tom," but yeah, he goes, do you remember the floods? Oxford. He goes, "Yeah, the floods. Do you remember the floods?" So, yeah. He goes, "Do you remember that boy who got his foot stuck in a grate and the river kept rising? And he kept rising. And he kept rising. And eventually they tried to get him out, but he drowned." "Yeah." He goes, "Well, that wouldn't have happened to me, right?" He goes, "Do you want to know why?" I went, yeah, sure. He goes, "Because I'd have said, cut it off. Nah." What I'm trying to say is, right? What I'm trying to say is, son, is sometimes, yeah, you've got to cut a little piece of yourself off, yeah, no matter how much it hurts, in order to grow, yeah? in order to move on.
You understand, guys? Sometimes you have to prune to grow. The story there was a kid that got caught in a flood and his foot was stuck in the grate and he ended up drowning because they couldn't get his foot out of the grate. And his friend's advice was cut it off, right? So in some situations, it's not a bad thing to cut off a piece of yourself to move on so that you can survive. So I think that's a sage piece of advice, and it's a little bit of a better one.
Yeah, he's talking about Charles Bronson there. So he did a movie called Bronson. So, he got close with him. And Charles Bronson, a very famous criminal, I guess you could say. He's got a very interesting biography. But yeah, man, I mean, guys will it's just named Bronson.
Bronson.
He played Charles Bronson. It's just called Bronson. So he so this can mean anything, man. This can mean a girl. This can mean family members. This can mean friends. I think one of the things that we see most common, especially in our community, where guys come to us and say, I got friends that want to keep me down. I got friends that see me like they saw me 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're still doing the same old thing. They're watching the same TV shows, hanging out at the same bar, talking about the same good old days. And they're just 9 to 5, not about 9 to 5 job, but like 9 to 5 life, like clock in, clock out. You come and do the same thing over and over. You're just a zombie. And, when guys transcend, or when they see somebody, we talk about crabs in a bucket, when they see guys trying new things and doing different things and trying to grow and trying to improve, you think that your friends and your family are going to be the first ones to have your back, but often they're the ones that are going to be the one to try to pull you down, because nobody wants to be surpassed in life. You talk a lot about this as far as you'll never be hated on, or people that are above you are not, people that are not, people that are,
you'll always be
hated on by people that are
above.
But I think there's something to be said about guys that have maybe ascended and that don't want to see people rise up and surpass them. People that have reached a certain level, and there's something about, killing the usurper, right? The king wants to stay the king. People in power want to stay in power, and not necessarily, maybe your friends are kind of on that same level, but people would rather be in a group of guys that are all in the same, because that allows them to justify why they're not growing, why they're not building, why they're not improving. And the minute that somebody tries to get out of that bucket, they're the first ones to try to pull them down, man. So it's a really hard thing to have to go through, especially with family members and friends you've had for a long time. But it's your life, dude. Sometimes you got to cut that piece off of you to leave them behind and grow to the next level.
So let's do this one. I think this is the last one, and then we'll run the ad reel and start taking call-ins. If you guys want to call in, the links pinned to the live chat. Moff, just grab it real quick and put it in the all chat just for everybody.
Yep.
While he's doing that, I just wanted to share this distinct, vast difference between the male and female experience on dating apps. I've talked to a lot of guys over the years, and this keeps popping up. A lot of guys get super frustrated with dating apps. Women aren't responding. They're chasing tail, and I get it. You want to be with women. It's in your DNA, it's in your biology, but like the deck's stacked up against you, and it's such a different experience for men and women. This is accurate, by the way. So this is a face app gender switch, and it's essentially the same face. It's a dude over here and a chick over here, same age, different name, Mario versus Maria. And we got 156 likes on Maria's profile. You can see all of them over there and whatever. And just up here, you got Buddy with nothing happening, with an offer to super boost now, probably for the low price of $23.99 or something like that.
Your firstborn son.
Yeah. But the experience, like, women enjoy so much optionality and variety, and if you're a chick and you want instant validation, all you have to do is download a dating app, put a few pictures. You don't have to put a bio, like some average pictures. You don't have to do professional photography or touch-ups, nothing. And just start swiping and you'll get matches all day long. Women can get approached taking the garbage to the curb, sitting in a coffee shop. It happens all the time. Men don't enjoy the same level of optionality. And if you want to guarantee something even remotely close to like 1/100th of what women experience, you're going to have to be as attractive as you possibly can, man. Like, the main thing really boils down to attraction, and that's it. I mean, I said it in my book, if you're not at least a 7 or 8 out of 10, you're probably wasting your time. It's just not even worth it. Do you want to add anything to that before we run the ad reel?
Yeah, I was just saying, man, like do the work is not a slogan. It's a requirement, right? A lot of guys like to parrot it. A lot of guys like to chant it in the comment section and talk about, do the work this, do the work that. But it's like, it's not up there for, my health, man. It's a daily reminder. It's a reminder to everybody that if you're a guy and you want better results out of life, all you got to do is continue to work hard. Now I say, I don't mean to make it simplistic and say all you got to do is work hard, because that stuff's not easy, but you have the advantage on your side as a man if you do the right things. But yeah, I mean, I can understand why guys get disenfranchised with dating apps. I understand why guys swear off of them. There's guys that have found a lot of success with dating apps. Like when I was dating, I was spinning plates. I had a lot of success with dating apps. That was the primary way that I met women. I had a really good time with them and I did very well, but that's because I spent a long time getting photo shoots done, curating photos, building an Instagram page, building up social status, social proof, all of that sort of stuff. And it's not as easy as just slapping on photos overnight. And you just have to understand what you're up against, man. And if you want to tap out of the game, then that's fine. But the game is the game. You either play or don't play, but you can't change the way that it is. So it really depends on how bad you want it. And if you think you want to do it, and if you do, great. There's a roadmap. And if you don't, then okay, more spoils for the next guy.
Learn the rules of the game so you can play it better. All right. Again, guys, the link to call in for StreamYard is at the top of live chat at YouTube. Moff dropped it in all chat. Click that if you want to come in. We're just going to run the ad reel real quick, take a quick break. We'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by richcooper.ca. Brothers, if you're like me and take what you put in your body seriously, you're going to want to use the Unplugged Alpha supplement line. An obsession with absorption is what sets this line apart from the others. You want to make sure that you absorb as much of the supplements as possible so you don't end up peeing out expensive urine. My supplement line is made in the United States from the highest quality domestic ingredients, and unlike cheap supplements from China in plastic bottles, mine ship in dark glass bottles to keep your supplements fresher, longer, and won't seep endocrine disrupting plastics into your supplements. Nothing is a hard tablet. Everything is in an easily digested, bioavailable capsule. You can filter all products by their various categories, including testosterone support, estrogen metabolism, fat burning, immune health, sleep support, and performance. Visit theunpluggedalpha.com/shop and use the subscribe and save option over here to get 10% off your supplement order, or use coupon code ALPHA10 for 10% off a one-time order to try it out. Men, if you want to know everything that I know today that I wish my dad taught me in my 20s, join the School of Unplugging. There are over 30 hours of lessons currently, a well-organized discussion board, and weekly Zoom calls held by experts with backgrounds in strength, nutrition, finance, investing, and entrepreneurship, all for one low monthly membership. Visit richcooper.ca and on the courses tab, hit the School of Unplugging and get started here. Guys, make sure you visit my website for my communities, requesting a private one-on-one consultation, or learning about my future events. And don't forget to opt into my email list over here to get my newsletter. Let's get on with the show. I think I got Claudia's mom here. And
I'm gonna throw that up there.
Is it Claudette? Is that what it is, Claudia? I don't know. It's in my DMs. Let me just open it up here. I got to pull it off the desktop. That's it. Because I sent the link. Okay. Moff, you want to do the win of the week while I pull this up real quick?
Yeah, I do. So this is something we're going to do new, guys. We wanted to kind of show you guys that we got guys that are in our community in the School of Unplugging that are doing real world wins and that are really getting out there in the game. So, with permission, I'm going to throw this up on stage with our guy here, and I'll read it for guys that it's too small. So, win successful second date with a cute chick from Hinge. Just came back from a successful second date with a cute, and it was her nationality, so I blurred that out. Chick that I met on Hinge. We matched about a week ago, and as soon as she demonstrated interest, I got her off the app and got her into texting. I didn't ask for her number, told her mine, and told her to reach me there. Tried to set something up last week, but it wouldn't work with our schedules. We set up a first date this Wednesday at a coffee shop / restaurant like Italy. If you guys are from New York, you understand where that is. And talked from 6 to 9. On the first date, I invited her to come to the range with me the next day. I wanted to set something up right away for the next day because I'd be leaving the country for 2 months on Friday, and I let her know that. Found out she also owns a handgun, hasn't shot in a long time, so I told her to bring it so she could get some practice. Thursday, I made sure to pick her up, went to the range, and grabbed something to eat after the range. On the way back to her place, she let me know that her roommate has a young daughter, and it's not okay with her bringing guys over. So with some finesse, I suggested we get a hotel room, and she accepted. Well, the rest is history. It went very well. I personally recommend a 5 milligram daily dose of tadalafil, which, Rich and I co-sign for your sexual health, but also, good pumps in the gym. And there's some good things about that. And by the way, this chick is taller than me, but she didn't care, and neither did I. I'm 5'9" or about 5'10" with boots on. Pretty sure she's a little taller at 5'11", even though she claimed to be 5'9" on her profile. Moff's module on dating and XYZ, one of our Zoom leaders, calls on modern dating have been very helpful to set up my mindset going into the date. Highly recommend joining the calls and watching the recordings if you haven't already. So, yeah, man, we've got some legit wins and some guys that are doing some really good stuff in the school. So, got the job done, and guys are having some real world successes. So you guys know where to find us, man. School of Unplugging. It's not just about dating. It's everything you could want to know about self-care, fitness, LTRs, the dating aspect, and much, much more. There's a lot of buzz going around in crypto. We've got experts on that are doing calls every other week. And it's a great place to be, especially if you're looking to level up and become part of something. So hop in.
We'll take call-ins in a sec. We got Raphael lined up first. Again, guys, the link is in the live chat. Click it, come through. We'll take as many as we can in the next little bit. I said I was going to do this link over here for our viewer last week, Claudia. We've got Claudette Macron, and you can vote for her. I think it's a beauty contest. Grateful to reach my 60s in retirement, explore my world, blah, blah, blah. There's some photographs of her down over here. You can cast your vote. What I'll do is I'll put that link in the live chat. You guys can go ahead and cast your vote. So there you go. I said we take a minute to spend some time on that. And of course, we got Algo Factory, like and subscribe. There's a link if you guys want to go cast a vote for. What do we got for call-ins? Oh, he left. Raphael.
He was in. He keeps popping in and popping out. So maybe we'll give
Is that the guy that wanted to debate you, or?
No, it was a different guy. That was funny. He said his argument would take 2 hours. So
it's not a good argument.
Probably not a good argument. And then he said it's not for people that are low IQ. So you're welcome to come in and make your argument, man. I mean, we give you a couple minutes, but again, this is what they do. They run, they hide, if you need to take 2 hours to convince somebody of something, or if you have an argument that takes 2 hours to lay the foundation, it's not a good argument. Go into an investors meeting or a pitch and say, okay, I need your undivided attention for 2 hours, and then I'm going to ask you to believe in me or give me money. They're going to laugh you out the door. So
very much
more power to you.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this for years, guys. There's always critics and haters. And it's like, we've had call-in lines open forever, since pretty much since the beginning. It's like they'll never call in and, try to.
We had a couple guys on Thursday. I mean, more power to them.
Yeah, you hit that whole, why I'm an atheist thing.
Yeah. I mean, look, I did that show for two reasons. We talked about this before. For two groups of people. One is guys that don't believe, guys that are atheists like me, because I think guys are out there looking for support, and they can understand that. I mean, being a non-believer can be a lonely road. It can be like being a red-pilled, unplugged man. And there's a lot of guys out there that can't be honest with their friends and family, and they have to kind of go along to get along. And, I stand with those guys. And there's also guys that are hardcore believers or believers that don't necessarily want to impose or be condescending with their beliefs. And I'm cool with that as well. Like I said, we have a very good mutual friend between the two of us who goes to Bible study, and it's never been an issue. We've never pushed things on each other, and I'm all fine, well and good. But it's always so funny when I bring up these things and say, like, the guys that really frustrate me are the ones that have to be really condescending about it. They're the ones that have to act like they're holier than thou. They're the ones that call people stupid for not believing. And you guys tell on yourselves. Like, it's just a large percentage of believers are the most insecure and thin-skinned people. If you're so secure in what you believe, then why do you... I'm not saying you're wrong for believing it. I think that's what a lot of people think. I'm not calling you wrong. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm not calling you ignorant. I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just saying, hey, man, you believe that stuff? Cool, good for you. I don't. That's it. That's really what it boils down to, but people can't handle that. So nuance is often lost on a lot of those people.
Yeah. I mean,
but I'm open to talking. I'm open to having any conversation with anybody that wants to have one. And if people want to start calling in on the show and they want to talk about that, more power to you.
Yeah, I've done it for a while, and I get mostly name calling, right? And that's usually what it resorts down to, because they don't have a good argument. It's like,
right.
Okay, but call me a liar. Like poke a hole through what I've talked about here. And better yet, I think another mark of a good conversation and intellect is like showing up with a better solution, like one that makes sense, like one that's rational, sort of thing. But it never seems to happen. It's always, dropping down ad hom attacks, your whatever, this, that, and the other thing. And it just, I don't know, it's not that productive, man. I love, differing opinions. Like I love talking to people about just about anything. You may agree, you may disagree, you may seek counsel, you may want to provide counsel. But at least be respectful, right? I mean, it's not often that I lose my temper. Like it's not often that I'll, let somebody have it. But when it happens, it's, they generally deserve it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was very funny to read those comments, and people thought I called me triggered. And it's like, I thought I handled myself pretty well. But Ryan, watch the show on YouTube, dude. You don't have to, it doesn't take 24 hours to, all you have to do is click the link in the top of the chat. It's pinned to the top. So it's a URL, and it's on X as well, I believe. So you also said you're joining the community. So hope to see you in there. But you just got to click that link, man. It's a simple URL if you want to call in and have a conversation. But okay, he said he tried to do it. Well, I don't know what to tell you then. So
hang on a sec. Let me check the authentication thing because it might have gone.
It should be off. I already checked it.
Yeah, it's off. It's off. Yeah, you should be able to click through.
It's just a URL, man.
Here, let me grab you the link again, and we'll drop it in here. And there's your StreamYard link. It should pop in. You're on Twitter X right now, so it should pop in all the feeds. But it's pretty straightforward.
I don't see it on X.
The link from your phone, from your tablet, from your computer, wherever. As long as you got a microphone and speakers, you're good to go, and you can click through. It's a very straightforward thing. You can also call through on my show on Wednesdays at noon. I had a whole bunch of call-ins last week. It's all good. I'm good with my updates here. Looks like we've covered everything. Our friend that was waiting bounced on us, so that's fine. I'm not sure if he's got internet issues, but we can wrap it up on that note. And we got a ladies' night tomorrow night still.
Yeah, ladies' night tomorrow night. I won't be on, so it'll be you and our pal Spence.
So I'll be on with Spencer.
Hope that goes well. I'll maybe try to catch some, but I'll be mostly in transit traveling for Thanksgiving. So that means no office hours this Thursday. But go watch, listen, go watch that podcast. Go watch the one I just did. Leave a constructive comment or tell me I suck. That's fine. But if you got arguments that you think that I missed or you think you can do a better job, I'm always open to call-ins, man. I mean, I had one guy call in that said, okay, well, now I need to go home and reevaluate and I need to think about this stuff. I said, okay, great. And that's fine. But, guys coming on being, this is what I want to ask to people. When is being arrogant, condescending, rude, and just being a general asshole ever got anybody on your side and got you to see your side and agreed with you? Just not really a good tactic. Insulting somebody that you're trying to convince or that you're trying. I don't do this to win. I just do these to have a conversation. So that's all I've ever tried to do. But I'm open to somebody changing my mind. I always have been. But to this point, there's nothing that anybody's brought me that's got me there. So.
Did you ever see that bit that Joe Rogan did on the 12-year-old retarded boy in Noah's Ark?
I think you sent it to me, but I don't know if I watched it.
I'll send it to you again, guys. Do yourself a favor. So I'll leave you with this at the end of the show. Search for Joe Rogan Noah's Ark retarded boy, and put some comment in the video afterwards. See you guys.